Chapter 4. Family Matters. Your blood runs cold as you stand frozen in your doorway, staring at your landlord amid the chaos of your ransacked apartment. Jamie, what are you doing in here? As your gaze sweeps over the mess, he serendipitously tucks something of yours into his pocket. I've been waiting for you to get home. You've been robbed. He gestures at the mess, and with a sense of dread, you make your way around the room to examine the disheveled remains of your things. This doesn't make sense. Only my med bag, work textbooks, and patient files were touched. What kind of thief skips the valuables, goes for my handwritten notes on perfect purse string suture? I saw the guy. He looked pretty tough. You're gonna need someone to protect you. Someone who's always nearby. I could probably help. Jamie's oily voice slides down your spine as he inches closer as you cringe. A second thought comes to mind. Or, what if there was never anyone else here and I just walked into a trap? You try and turn, you steady your breathing as he stalks closer, but each step makes your heart pound harder. You have exactly 3 seconds to explain why you're in my apartment for real this time. No need to be hostile, I just wanted to make sure you were okay. By going through her shit. And I don't believe a word you're saying. It's time for you to leave. Now. His face darkens. This is the thanks I get for making sure you don't have to deal with this alone. Your back hits the wall as he closes in, his cologne overwhelming in the small space, and it's with a lead stomach that you realize. Damn it, he's blocking the exit. You look around desperately for something to stave him off. Ethan Ramsey. My stethoscope. A trophy from med school. My gold humanism honor society trophy might be decorative, but it's pretty solid. But as you start to reach for it, your stomach rolls, rebelling at the thought of violence. Cold dread shoots down your spine as your mind darts back to the darkest night of your life. Distant screams shroud your memory, and you shudder. It won't have to come to that. Reigns over Braun, Gray, think. Jamie takes another step closer, his breath hot on your face. I was trying to help you. You shouldn't be alone at a time like this. It sounds like alone is exactly what she wants to be. Before either of you can compute what's happened, Jamie yanks backward and Dom appears, positioning himself between you with a predatory grace. So leave. Before I make you leave. Jamie draws himself up, slowly calculating his odds as his eyes flick over Dom's broad shoulders and muscled frame. This is between me and my tenant. Why don't you mind your own business, guy? The words are barely out of his mouth before Dom's hand shoots out, fingers curling into his collar as he slams him into the wall. Your tenant is my business. He pulls in your stomach at the protective edge in Dom's voice, but as his muscles coil with barely contained aggression, you can't help but step in. Dom, don't hurt him. I've killed people for less, Gray. Why shouldn't I? His voice comes out in a growl, and as Dom clenches his fist around the man's neck, a surge of emotion wells up within you. Because I said so. The whole room goes still at your challenge, and for a moment even Jamie stops struggling. You're getting awfully comfortable giving me orders. Maybe you should try getting comfortable following them. This is my house, and I won't have you turning it into a crime scene. Besides, he saw who did this, and we need him in good working order if we're going to get that information. Oh, I don't know about that. I can be pretty persuasive. His fingers tighten around his throat, and the man's feet leave the ground with a choked gasp. Whoa, I'm sorry, alright? Please. The panic in his voice drives your heart rate up, and at once your stomach churns. Damn it, I said stop. At the sound of your voice, he pauses and turns to meet your gaze, his eyes curious as they take in the look in yours. Excuse me? We get it, alright? You're a badass. You don't have to be such a brute. Watch yourself, Gray. If you can't get the information without hurting him, then just let him go. For a moment, the three of you go still. There's something mesmerizing about the way Dom holds himself. Pure power. Perfectly restrained. Then his grip on Jamie's collar loosens, just enough to show him he's listening, though his eyes never leave yours. I can. The question is, do you trust me to? The way he asks makes your breath catch. It's not a challenge, but an offering, a promise to follow your lead. Like it or not, Dom is powerful enough to get the answers we need, but maybe with me here I can make sure he reins it in. Let Dom get the information. Dom's eyes flash with pleasure at your words, and his grip shifts, not tighter, but more deliberate. Just don't go too far, okay? Of course not. We're just going to ask our friend here a few questions. Dom seizes Jamie and drags him into your bedroom before propping open the third-story window. And if I don't like the answer, if you don't answer, we're going to play a little game called Hangman. Oh my god. Dom holds Jamie just in front of the window, his balance skewed by the missing pane. Dom. You said to trust me, so trust me, Gray. I've got this. Ask what you want to know. Looking at Jamie's horrified face, you remind yourself that his feet are planted firmly on the solid ground. He's not in any danger. Now it's time to get some answers. You said you saw the guy. What did he look like? He was tall, well-dressed young man, maybe early 30s. Anything distinctive about him? Clean cut, carried himself like he had money. Not what you'd expect from a burglar. You feel Dom tense beside you, but his expression remains neutral. It could be anyone. Get specific. I didn't get a close look, but he seemed comfortable here, like he'd been here before. Okay, then tell me why you were really here. I told you, I was checking on... Dom dangles him further out the window. Wrong answer. Dom, he's more useful conscious. Ma'am, all he is leaning out the window. Dom hesitates for a moment, but gradually pulls him back. You can't help but feel the rush of being in control. Interesting. I wonder what else I can get him to do. Fine, I've been coming in when you're at work, okay? Oh, toss him out the window, who gives a shit? You've been what? I'd like to check on you, make sure you're safe. You mean stalk her? No, I mean, tonight I heard noises, I actually caught someone here. You notice Dom's expression darken at the admission of unauthorized entry. But he was gone by the time you got back. I was trying to warn you. Jamie trembles as Dom holds him, but you notice something interesting about Dom's posture. The way he keeps glancing at you for approval, the slight shift in his stance when you speak. He's letting me lead, enjoying it even. Your eyes meet his and something electric passes between you. Well, Doc, how should we proceed? The question carries more weight than just the interrogation. The mighty dominant coin, waiting for my command. Power thrums through you as you consider the next move. Use commanding undertones, guide him with gentle touches. Play good cop, bad cop. I'm gonna play good cop, bad cop. We'll see what happens. Jamie, I want to help you, but my friend here isn't as patient. Dom catches on immediately, playing up his menace. Very not patient. So, let's talk about that intruder before he gets any ideas. Jamie looks between you both, clearly uncertain who scares him more. Tick. Tock. You rest your hand on Dom's arm as if restraining him. I can only hold him back so much. Last chance, Jamie. Make it count. The dynamic clearly amuses Dom, even as it terrifies Jamie. Look, that's really all I know, I swear. Why don't you get the thing that's tucked in his pocket? You study his face, looking for any sign of deception. And you've never seen this person anywhere else? No, never. Can I please go now? Dom's presence beside you feels like a loaded weapon, and his gaze burns into you, waiting for your signal. You nod, and Dom releases him, staying at your side like your own personal attack dog. The notion makes you feel powerful, relishing the chance to take back your power after the ordeal. You step aside, allowing Jamie to pass. But, as he goes, you call out to him. Hey, Jamie? Yeah? If I catch you in my apartment again, I won't stop him next time. Are you seriously not going to reclaim the item he took from you? Next to you, Dom casually flashes the gun at his hip, and Jamie blanches, all bravado of before gone. Got it. Won't happen again. Jamie scrambles for the door, nearly tripping in his haste to escape. You turn to Dom with a smile, placing a teasing hand on his muscular back. Thank you for your help. I don't know that I could have gotten that out of him without you. I'm sure you could have. Dom's voice is slow and methodical as he steps closer, and you feel the vibrations of his growl in your chest. Especially if you use that weapon you were reaching for when I came in, Dr. Non-Violence. Your stomach sinks, but his gaze is locked on you, watching your every little movement. I can explain, but before you get the chance, he presses a finger to your lips. You don't have to. But the next time you think copping a feel and flirty looks is going to be enough to make me heal, just remember. He bows his head, his lips grazing the shell of your ear, but you can't help but revel in the feeling of danger. I'm on to you, Gray. Beg for mercy, be unrepentant. Why apologize for something we both enjoyed? You're getting too comfortable giving me orders. And you're getting too comfortable following them. He backs you against the wall, one hand beside your head. That stops now. We'll see. The challenge in your voice makes his eyes flash and his expression darkens dangerously. Don't mistake my curiosity for weakness. And don't mistake my compliance for submission. The tension crackles between you like lightning before a storm. Does it count for anything that we got the information we needed? Do you usually celebrate before the job is done? What else is there left to do? To find the guy who broke into your place? Do you really want me to say it? You take in the stoic look on his face, but just beneath the surface you can still see the unbridled anger, and you know what he wants. You want to find the guy. I want to do more than that. Dom, it's not that big a deal. It's Philly. Random crime happens every day. Today was my turn. I'll live. Except this wasn't a random burglary. The timing, focus, whoever this was knew what they wanted and where to look. You pause. That wasn't a factor you considered, and the new train of thought sends you slightly off kilter. You think they were looking for something specific? Yes. And if nothing's missing now, then that just means they'll be coming back until they find it. And it doesn't help that security in this building is a joke. I can't guarantee your safety here. So you're moving in with me. There are plenty of rooms at my family estate. You'll be fine there. I'm not one of your soldiers to command. How do I know this wasn't your plan all along? Why not? I'll go with, how do I know this was your plan all along? You could have sent someone to break into my house, scare the living daylights out of me, and swoop in to offer me a place to stay. My own personal Prince Charming. From hell. His gaze takes on a softer look as he closes the distance between you, sending your heart rate skyrocketing. I'm the devil because I want to keep you safe. No, you're the devil because despite the very real possibility that this is a setup, I'm still finding it hard to say no. His thumb traces your bottom lip, and the tender gesture makes your breath catch. Then don't. The raw possessiveness of his gesture catches you both off guard, and for a moment, his carefully maintained control slips, his voice lowering. After all, you're family now, and the coins protect their own. His intensity should frighten you, but instead you feel a warmth spread through your chest at being claimed so completely. But, before either of you can say another word, a church bell tolls the hour, shattering the moment. Dom glances at his phone screen to confirm the time and curses. I've got some errands to run tonight, and I'm not letting you out of my sight until I get you settled in my estate, so you'll need to change. What? Why? Where are we going? He's already on the move, surveying your ransacked bedroom and picking through your clothes strewn across the floor. I've got family business to attend to. Looks like you're finally going to see what I do when I'm not. How'd you put it? Dom fixes you with a look, and if you didn't know any better, you'd think it was amusement. Spending the whole day harassing you? He holds up a fur coat and a black dress you'd completely forgotten were in your closet. And if you're going to meet the family, you should look the part. It'll help you earn their respect. Okay. So she just had this lying around in her closet, did she? Our other outfit would be normal attire. Street soldier, dressed in plain Janes. Sure. You take the clothes from his hands and dress quickly, feeling a surprised thrill at the thought of stepping fully into his world. What do you think? Do I look good enough to take home to the family? His eyes rake over you with unconcealed hunger, lingering on every curve. You look good enough to make me reconsider taking you anywhere. The sensual compliment catches you off guard, but before you can dwell on it, he checks his phone again. If we don't leave now, I'll be late. Let's move. Later, Dom pulls up to a valet station of an exclusive casino, and you step out into the warm evening air. Your jaw drops. This is the infamous coin family business? I was expecting something more gritty. What? They thought we were running a multi-million-dollar operation out of a basement. Given that you dragged me into a shootout on my first night working for you, I never know what to expect. A proud smile graces his lips, and as he rests his hand possessively on your back, his voice goes smug. Contrary to popular belief, the family can keep things civilized. Mostly. Dom leads you past the velvet ropes and onto the glittering main floor, where a well-dressed staff man, the roulette... Words English. No, actually, it's not English. I read it on I paused the video for a minute. Well-dressed staff man, the roulette tape. There needs to be a comma between staff and man. Just well-dressed staff man the roulette wheels and blackjack tables. See how that sounds when I say it like that? Evening, Tony. Things running smoothly? Like clockwork, boss. That's what I like to hear. Without breaking a stride, Dom guides you around the room as he personally checks in with every worker, and you can't help but be surprised. I can't believe it, the way these people look at him. It's like he's he genuinely cares about his people. As you tag along, Dom makes a beeline for the bar. How's the grandfather of yours, Ernie? Better, I hope.
Much better since you got him into that specialist. He wanted me to thank you again.
Yeah, my pleasure. Let me know if you need time off for any of his appointments. He remembers details about all their lives. No wonder they're so loyal. But as Dom leads you through an unmarked door at the back, the casino's glitz and glamour falls away, stripping his easy smile, and replacing it with a cool callousness as you emerge among a series of high-stakes card games. Mobsters mill around the tables, their casual expressions belied by the weapons barely concealed under their designer jackets. So much for civilized. Where's Neil? All eyes turn reverently to Dom first, then to you, and as you feel the mobster's eyes linger appreciatively, their initial wariness softens. Stepped out to take a call. Who's the badass in the fur? I'm Dr. Gray Gould, the new family doctor. Nearby, a low-level soldier scoffs. You have to be a family to be the new family doctor? Well, when you break something or get shot or stabbed, I'll make sure to remember that. James is right. You'd think our last doctor was good enough example of what happens when we let outsiders in. The comments feel pointed. Your suspicions are confirmed when you glance over to Dom scowling. Dom mentioned that I would need to earn the family's respect. I need to prove myself, but how? I should... You have to put your foot down. Yeah, jokingly clap back, be understanding, or demand respect. Alright, thinking how this book goes and how we're even more dominant over, Dom at times. I want to be understanding, but then I realize mobsters. Joking clap back, that'd be me, but anyway. Demand respect. Before Dom can say anything on your behalf, you quickly step between him and the man, folding your arms across your chest. Dom, trust me. That should be enough for you, too. The mobster's face darkens at your presumption, and the room goes deadly quiet. Trust isn't inherited, Doc. Not even from the boss. Right. Okay, so be understanding, maybe. Regardless, I expect everyone to make Gray feel welcome. Is that understood? Your detractors don't say another word as Dom stares them down, his gaze not faltering until Neil arrives and claps him on the shoulder. Ah, there you are. You, ready to do this, or what? Dom nods and turns to look at you. I've got some business to take care of, but I won't be long. Why don't you play a round of cards until I get back? You scan the room, looking for an empty seat, but finding none. Oh, all these tables are full. But before you can finish, there's a crash as Neil grabs a nearby gambler and hauls him out of his chair. Did you really think we wouldn't notice you've been counting cards, Big Mike? I didn't, Neil, I swear to God. I gotta go. Neil drags the man out a back exit, and Dom stalks after him. As you stare after him, open mouth, a woman gestures towards the overturned seat. Looks like a spot just opened up. Why don't you join us, Doc? We're playing spoons. What the hell's a spoon? It's like the thing you eat with or what you do in bed. As you sit, one of the family members shuffles, and you notice 3 spoons in the center of a table of 4 players. You act like I know what the fuck spoons is. I'm not sure if I know how to play. Well, all you have to do is collect 4 of a kind. Grab a spoon to secure your spot in the next round. I'm Joe, by the way. This is Teresa, and you've met Boyd. As you cast a look over to the man who spoke out against you earlier, you politely extend your hand. Nice to officially meet you. Gameplay starts when your first card is discarded. Don't slow the pace of the game. Okay. Joe deals the cards, and as he sets the draw pile next to Boyd, you take a quick look at your hand. Again. What the f is a spoon? I got the Queen of Clubs, the Jack of Spades, and an Ace of Hearts, but any 4 of the same cards will get me the win. Any 4 of the same cards. I'm gonna lose this, I know it. You start... I'm serious. You start to strategize, but before you're ready, Boyd makes a grab for a card, his smirk plain. That's enough prep for you, Doc. Let's see what you got. As he discards it next to you, you take one last look at your hand. Focus on collecting aces. Aces it is. But next to you, Boyd keeps blazing ahead, depositing card after card on the discard pile for you to pick up. Hey, Gray, mind passing along the cards? You're giving Boyd one hell of an advantage. Right, sorry. Quickly, you lunge for the first card on the discard pile, yanking up to compare your hand. I gotta hurry if I want to catch up. Time for some snap decisions. I'll keep it. It's that ace. Smart move, adding to your set. One step closer to 4 of a kind. I'll keep it. Smart move, adding to your... You're just gonna keep repeating the same shit, aren't you? One step, yep, no, okay. Discard it. No point holding the cards that don't help the set. Oh, you keep that clarity and we're all in trouble. But just as you reach for the next card, a sudden movement catches your eye. Winner, winner! There's gonna be spoonless for dinner. Huh? The instant his hands move for a spoon, you snap in action, snatching one for yourself. Not me. Nah, I got mine too. Which just leaves. Damn it! What were you saying about not being up for a challenge, Boyd? You might not have been last, but you weren't first either. Hey, there's always next round. That might surprise you. As Teresa deals the next hand, Joe removes a spoon from the table and Boyd puts on a smug grin. I doubt it. You civilian docs are all talk and no heart. It's only a matter of time until you and dear old Edward meet the same fate. Who? Our last family doctor. Word around here was Edward owed a lot of gambling debts. It's how old man Coin recruited him. Told him he could work it off. Except for Edward wasn't made for life. The work made him queasy. That's when he got the bright idea to sell the family secrets for the cash to get him out of Dodge. Boyd discards his first card as he talks rapid gameplay, making it harder to focus on his words. I got a focus, but on what? I should ask for details, keep a closer eye on my opponent, pay attention to the cards. Something tells me if Boyd's being talkative, it's for a reason. And it's not a good one. You tuck your cards closer, guarding them from prying eyes, but with your focus locked on your cards, you forget to pay attention to anyone else's. Gotcha. Huh? What the hell am I missing with this shit? Without hesitation, you snatch up the last spoon, nearly beating out Teresa. Maybe I should have kept my focus on the game. I was focusing on the cards! Damn it! I mean, what was her attention on? The wallpaper? As Teresa removes another spoon, you grab the cards and start to shuffle. Now that you've got my undivided attention, what secrets was Edward dealing in? Or are you afraid you won't be able to beat me without a distraction? If I knew, you think I'd tell you? You'd probably go rat before the words are even fully out of my mouth. All Dom and Neil would say is that they caught him calling around after trying to get away with sensitive information. There's only one punishment for betraying the family. Boyd draws his thumb across his neck, and as you discard the first card, you feel your hand start to shake. They killed him? Familiar panic swells up inside of you, and suddenly your brain floods with a ghost of screams long past and warm blood slick on your bare hands. I can't give in to it now. prove Boyd right. I should try to steady my hands, focus on my breathing, force the panic down. I'm gonna go with focus on my breathing. In and out, just like in surgery. The familiar rhythm steadies you, and the memories morph to your first time in the OR as tragedy becomes triumph. You spot your final card. There you are. Carefully, you set down your hand and inch your fingers towards the last remaining spoon. If I do this right, you won't even know what hit him. But as you fight back a smile, you look up to see Boyd slapping down 4 aces. Of course they killed him. The fact that you even have to ask is an issue all by itself. You waltz in here on Boss's arm, but you have no idea what you're signing up for. You see the glitz, the glam, the clothes, the mob aesthetic, but you don't see the river of blood we trudge through, because you are not a coin, and never will be. His eyes flash to the spoon, and before you can move, he snatches it up with a flourish. And that's game. Okay, question. How do I have 4 aces and you have 4 aces, unless you have more than one deck mixed into the cards? Damn it. The loss stings, but Boyd seems to intend to twist the knife. He leans in, his grin smug. And you know what else? Choose your next words very carefully, Boyd. The room goes silent as a shadow falls over you, and you turn to find Dom standing behind you with countless family soldiers at his back. They may be the last ones you ever say. He pauses, looking from Dom to his allies and back again before deflating. Good choice. Boyd slinks away, and as the rest of the room returns their focus to the games, Dom leans his arms against the back of her chair, his words warm against your ear. I see you're making friends. Hey, you're the one who told me to play a round or two. I'm just trying out this whole obedience thing thing you like so much. You turn to meet his gaze, and as your eyes meet his, the air between you crackles with intensity. It turns out, it sucks. There's that mouth again. His eyes flick your lips, and you can't help the warmth that floods you as memories of his lips on yours come to mind. But then he lowers his voice, his husky growl taking on a softer tone. Seriously, though? You okay? Your pulse quickens, and whether it's his proximity, the way his breath ghosts across your skin, or the sense of care in his voice, the truth slips out. I'm never better than when you're near. Believe it or not, you make me feel safe. Dom's hand slides from the back of her chair to brush your shoulder, and you lean into the touch. Only for his phone to ring, shattering the moment. He answers the phone, turning away. Speak. You don't miss the tension in his shoulders. The worry in his tone makes your hair stand on end. Something's wrong. How bad? I'm bringing the doctor. Have everything ready. He ends the call, and when he turns back to you, all traces of your earlier flirtation are gone. We need to go. Now. Dom, what's happening? His hand slides down to grip yours, already pulling you towards the door. You've got a patient. Won't this be fun? You and Dom rip through the streets of Philly in total silence before pulling up to a sprawling, gated property. Dom, you've got to tell me something. Where the hell are we? Who is this patient? Before he can answer, a nurse bursts through the front doors, panic clear on her face. Mr. Coyne, thank God, he's coding. Move now. Dom leads you through an expansive home at a near run, and as you burst into a fully equipped medical suite, you find a man unconscious. Immediately, your instincts take over. What happened? Nothing. 1 minute he was lucid. The next. You press your fingers to his neck, find a weak, thready pulse. But as you watch for the rise and fall of the man's chest, it's clear he's not breathing. I should start compressions, get the defibrillator, check his airways. You quickly tilt his head back, checking for obstructions. There's something blocking his airway. With practice efficiency, you sweep your fingers into the back of his throat, clearing the blockage. Got it. You should start breathing normally any second. Sure enough, color returns to the man's face. You lean into his field of vision. Sir, can you hear me? But even as he draws in a ragged breath, he doesn't speak. You reach for his chart. Something's wrong. He should be talking. That blockage could have been released by a simple cough. But you don't get very far before you freeze, your eyes stuck on the name on the chart. Xander Coin. Dom? Is this... You trail off as you turn to look at a pale, stoic Dom lingering on the outskirts of the room. Dr. Greg Gould, meet my father. I thought you said he was away on business. When did he get back? What happened? He never left. It was all a lie to cover for his illness. Honestly, he's been declining for a while. As for the why, I was hoping you could tell me. You refocus on his charts, looking through the decades worth of notes, scans, until you notice something that gives you a pause. Is that a bullet in his brain scan? You look up shocked, but Dom isn't the slightest bit fazed. Dad was a street soldier back in the day. Guys from rival families tried to rob him. He fought back, took one to the head. It's been there ever since. The scans show there's increased pressure around it. Parts of his brain are being compressed. It's why he couldn't clear his throat or speak. If he's lucky and it's fluid, it can be drained. But if it's tumor or scar tissue, didn't Edward talk to you about this? Edward took one last look at the file and tried to sell it to a highest bidder. He almost ruined everything Dad worked so hard to protect. Boyd's haunts at the casino come back to you loud and clear. So you killed him. I had to. The room rings with the force of Dom's claim, but it's almost as if he's pleading, as if he needs you to understand. If it got out that Dad was unfit, the other families would force him to stand down, hold a vote to select the new family boss. But those are notoriously long processes filled with infighting, and the whole time our family would be without a leader. The other families would relish the chance for us to turn on each other, so we'd never see them coming. People would have been killed. Are you sure you were doing this for what's best for your family, not so power hungry? Doing what was best for your people. You said every member of the Coin family was as good as your own blood, but you've been lying to them. What kind of family does that? A shitty one. But he had good intents and purposes for why he did it, though. At least that's a good thing. His jaw clenches, but there's pain beneath his anger. The kind that survives. You talk about non-violence, finding alternative ways to work things out, but that's exactly what I did. You really think a war would have broken out? The police are useless. Half of them are in someone's pocket, and the other half just wants to make it home. But it wouldn't be the first time a mob war was waged on these streets, Gray. In fact, he starts and trails off, his gaze catching on his father. It's how my father became the boss 20 years ago. You look at the shadow of a man lying catatonic on the bed. It's hard to believe that at one point he'd been fearsome. But as you catch Dom's glance, you see the clear love and respect there. It feels like fully understanding Dom and the Coin way of life means starting at the beginning. Oh, really? Alright, let us learn. It'll be easier to show you, come on. You call in Xander's nurse to sit with him, and then you and Dom slip out of Xander's room, walking slowly through the estate. You know that nurse is really, really shitty if she couldn't check a simple blockage in his throat. I'm just saying. As you walk down a long hallway, Dom points to a portrait of a woman. 20 years ago, Sabri Bardot ran the most powerful family in Philly. There's something personal in the way he says her name, and you can't help but ask. You knew her? She was my godmother. She and my father came up together as coin soldiers. They were unstoppable. But when my father was made, and she wasn't, she married a man from the Bardot family, a nothing family, and turned them into a powerhouse. Talk about payback. In more ways than one. Saber founded the restaurant that they used as a front. Now it's a franchises, or their primary laundering source. But despite his compliments, you can tell there's something darker lurking underneath, and you work at unearthing it. It sounds like ambition runs in the family. She was formidable, you respected her. I can see why. She went where she was valued and amassed a lot of power. She taught me my first lesson about power. His eyes grow distant with memory. That it's worthless if you can't hold on to it. What happened to her? The feds got tired of mobsters getting the better of them, developed illegal loopholes that allowed them to make arrests stick. For Capone, it was tax evasion. For Saber, it was a RICO case. She got sentenced per count and wound up with 50 years sentence. And that's what started the war. Everyone wanted to be in the new Saber and step into her shoes. Exactly. Suddenly, every member of the Bardot family wanted the top spot. There were too many candidates, and that led them to bribing votes. His hand clenches as he continues. Eventually, they started eliminating the competition, their own family, and then the war spread. He leads you outside to the estate's vast grounds to a private cemetery. The first rays of sun just starting to peek over the horizon. Row after row of graves stretch before you, each marking a fallen member of the Coin family. While the Bardots tore themselves apart, the other families watched and waited for them to get weak enough to pick apart. It makes sense. The Bardots were doing all the dirty work themselves. No use fighting when you could just linger and be winner by default. He grunts and you look at him wide-eyed. You disagree? There's something distasteful about being a vulture. I prefer my opponents face me head on. I agree with you. There's something grimy about watching from the shadows. I feel like... I like feeling like I've earned my wins. And that's why you belong in the family. His approval warms you unexpectedly. The Coin's face are enemies with strategy and precision, always have. So, where were the coins in all this? Our boss then was Marcus Coin. He leads you to an ornate headstone, its marble surface scarred by bullets. He was arrogant. Even then, our family had more members. He banked on us being able to bully our way into getting the Bardot's territory. His fingers trace the bullet holes in the stone. So, he called a meeting of all 5 families, called a parlay under the guise of restoring order. Judging by the bullet holes, that didn't go well. Taking out frustration even after death is never a good sign. People were angry, rightly so. Parlays are supposed to be neutral, but he brought guns and opened fire. The other families took heavy losses, but it was an open season on coins after that. It put all of us in danger, and any territories we gained, we quickly lost. The contempt in his voice makes it clear what he thinks of Marcus's scheme. All he did was make things 10 times worse. The body count tripled overnight. He surveys the field of graves, and as you follow his gaze, your stomach sinks. Some of these families lost their whole generations that summer. We weren't the only ones. The Washingtons were almost completely wiped out. They're considered defunct now.
I'm guessing Marcus wasn't the boss for much longer. I can imagine the other families made sure his reign was short.
He died at his own meeting. Poetic justice, some would say.
His expression hardens with cold wisdom.
As it stands, we all learned a lesson that day. Break faith with the families and they break you.
A cold wind whips through the cemetery and rattling dead leaves across the graves. And suddenly there's a fierce pride in his voice.
It's when my father stepped in. Everyone was at their weakest. The papers were calling it the bloodiest summer in Philly's history. And anyone that wasn't worried about the bullets was worried about the feds.
I bet they're probably just waiting for it all to crumble so they could sweep in with arrests and be heroes.
Exactly. And all the while, the civilians were on their own. No one was safe.
He moves past Marcus's grave to an empty plot, the headstone blank in preparation for the next recipient.
But my father saw what no one else could, that every family was too weak to keep up the fight and too proud to admit it.
So instead of fighting them, he proposed balance, no family above another. Dom's voice takes on an almost reverent quality as he gazes down on his father's future resting place. He convinced them that stability would profit everyone, more than war, and they listened. His legacy will be a lasting peace. Your father sounds like he saved them from themselves. Who knows how many more families would have fallen if he didn't have the courage to put a stop to things. That ceasefire bill changed everything.
And now it's up to me to protect the peace. But if the others find out about him...
Something haunting crosses his expression. I get it. Tempting them with an opportunity to move against you probably isn't a risk you can afford to take with these stakes. But how do you know war will happen again?
I didn't. Until I realized the vultures are already circling and looking for proof against Dad.
He looks at you pointedly, and suddenly a realization hits you. The break-in. They were looking for your dad's chart.
Ding, ding, ding. Well, you are the new doctor.
Your stomach drops as you survey the tombstones around you. Yeah, but see, here's the thing is, there's only like 3 people that knew you were the new doctor, right?
Just think about that.
Just saying. Anyway, we're a lot closer to this being reality than I thought.
Getting cold feet?
Dom draws near to you, and as you meet his gaze, a warmth surges through you. No, but I'm a bit worried for you. That's a lot of moving parts to have to juggle.
I'll manage.
And if you can't? I mean, what's the fallback plan if it doesn't work out? Can't you just take some time to get the family affairs in order and come clean?
Designating someone as a boss requires all families to sign off. If the other families find out we were skirted the proper tradition, they'll kill us both. And anyone who stands with us.
You look down at the medical chart in your hands, the weight of what you're holding suddenly very clear. One leak, one mistake, and Dom and his father and countless people die. Despite the stakes, you can't help but hold it together. Well, then we'd better make sure these stay secure. You know, it's one of the reasons why he wanted you to live with him. I get it now. I mean, now that we have this information, but... Alright, so, without further ado, thanks for watching. Please remember that if you did enjoy the content, to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Aside from that, let me know your thoughts down below. I enjoy this book. It reminds me of Bad Boy Blues. It really does. If you guys ever tuned in chapters, if not, it is up on the channel. Give it a watch, /read. It is actually really, really good. And it was, like I said, in my past video, it's where I kind of discovered my Adrian /Adriano voice, and went from there. and it was kind of fun to do, and I've practiced it here and there. So throughout this chapter today, as you can kind of tell, I'll do kind of like the normal tone, and then when he gets serious, I kind of try and add a depth to it. When he whispers or gets more gentle, I do the same. Like, I kind of try and mirror what they're going for, right? Um, so the voice changes a little depending on what he's going through or his mood or whatnot, right? Again, you know, I'm someone who I do this for fun. And it's kind of like a learning experience as I go, especially as a person that does the voices, right? Again, there's no one to compare myself to. I've never been to voice acting classes. A lot of people, surprisingly enough, have never really done voice acting lessons or whatnot. You look at Morgan Freeman, they just did Morgan for his voice, like, right? Like Sean Connery, same thing. A lot of these people were just selected because of their normal voice. So you have people, such as myself, who are able to do more than just our normal voice, right? Like a lot of these people, such as Chris Pratt, right? Like a lot of like these people just get hired for their voice, and their voice is everywhere, and it's like, okay, so that there's nothing different about their voice, right? Um, but they got hired for their voice, right? Like Kevin Conroy, really great voice actor. Really, you know his voice out of anywhere. Last voice acting gig before he passed away was Devil May Cry. He was Bane, the vice president. And so, as soon as I heard that voice, I'm like, what? And I checked. I had to check that. And yeah, no, it was him. It was his last gig before he passed. And so, just some people have this voice that is just pretty iconic and legendary, right? For me, I don't think my normal voice is like that. So for me, I at least was granted the talents through actual pain and suffering. Because at one point, I actually did lose my whole entire voice. So the voice you're hearing now is not the OG voice that I used to have. And so through my losing my voice, I was able to gonna discover new voices on my road to recovery. So, I've pretty much when I sit there and I listen to an accent, right? I sit there and I like this, and I just go ahead and listen to it, Tommy boy. And as you can tell, I've been, doing a little bit of mobster lately with a little Ireland in it, and and just doing something like this. If you're watching Mobland, it's a great show, really. But then you got the voice like this, and this is from India. Yes. And you have to talk like a and so I basically hear these accents and whatnot, and I'll be like, huh, that's interesting. And then I'll practice it and work on it a little here and there. But one of the voices that I actually first discovered when I was on my road to recovery was Larry the Cable Guy. How you guys doing? Boy, I'll tell you one thing. You know, and I was just like, what? Like, this one day I was just like, you know what, I want to try that. And you would just hit it, just landed right on it. And so, yeah, no. So let me know your thoughts. But other than that, thanks again for watching. And I'll catch you all in the next chapter. But by the way, in case you're watching still to right now, keep in mind that Friday chapters are going to be a little bit late because I have some medical stuff on Friday. So, yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you all later. Peace out.